Hello and welcome back. Another day, another reading comprehension workout. And our today's focus is on passage selection. Because I have limited time in the test, I'm assuming that we have already worked on our skill. We can conquer a passage, we can work at a paragraph level. We have improved our critical thinking. We have deployed all our active reading tools like main idea, general specific, conjunctions, asking questions, etc. But now we are talking about our test scenario where there are four passages, and I want to do the easy one first, right? That has to be my approach for the VARC section, for the quant section, and for the DILR section. So passage selection becomes important because if I can do the easy stuff and save time there, maybe give that extra time to the difficult passage and leave it for later. And if you're especially if you're weak and if this is not your strong area, then definitely you need to find the easy ones and manage them rather than getting lost or stuck in a difficult passage, right? So it becomes fairly important. And it's very, very easy to choose, right? Investment of 1.5, 2 minutes in the beginning can help you decide which about the language of the passage, whether it's comfortable for you or not. Get a taste of the language and decide whether it rolls off easily off your tongue or in your brain, or is it hiccupy, stuttery, stammery process where every sentence is difficult, right? And also maybe compare questions and the size of the sentence options in the sentences in the options, right? So I compare question number two and question number eight. Question number two is from passage one. Question number eight is from passage four. I look at just the size, just visually from far away also, even if I don't read it, I know that if I read these options for question number eight, it will take me some time to comprehend, process, and then choose. Compared to question number two, where the sentences are very small, I'll be able to read them quickly, process them faster. Even if the difficulty level is slightly tougher, it'll be easier for me to contain them in my memory banks in my brain, right? So you can also compare the size of the options, and just visually would also do more often than not, because I've seen with most students, even if the content is easy but the sentences are long, they often get distracted and they get confused and lost, right? So easy small options are a very quick giveaway of that. Okay, overall the passage is definitely going to be easier, right? Then I am doing preview, but now at a multi-passage level. We have already done previewing at a passage level where we read a few sentences to figure out what the core idea is, get my brain warmed up, maybe find a quick map and then approach the passage. We're doing the same thing at multiple passage level where I want to read a few sentences from each passage to decide which one works for me, which one can I easily read, which one can I just cruise through rather than having to stop at every sentence and figure out the meaning of that sentence, right? So for this experiment, I'm just reading the first paragraph of each passage, and together let's decide in your brain and in my brain which one feels easy for me, right? So I start reading. The second-hand September campaign led by Oxfam seeks to encourage shopping at local organizations and charities as alternatives to fast fashion brands such as Primark and Boohoo in the name of saving our planet. As I read this, I found it very easy to read that there is a second-hand market being set up, or an event being set up. The idea is to save our planet from fast fashion brands. As innocent as mindless scrolling through online shops may seem, such consumers are unintentionally or perhaps even knowingly contributing to an industry that uses more energy than aviation. Now, saving our planet, global warming, sustainability is such a common topic these days. So, if you've been doing any amount of newspaper reading, magazine articles, and living the human life, you've heard of this global warming, sustainability, waste problem, pollution in the environment kind of a thing, right? So, I found this paragraph very, very easy, very smooth to read. No big challenging words, no big challenging ideas also. This is something that almost anybody would understand, right? Provided that they read it and they had some concentration going. This is the second passage, first paragraph. Over the past 4 centuries, liberalism has been so successful that it has driven all its opponents off the battlefield. Easy so far, but I might not know the term liberalism. I might not be familiar with it. Now, I've heard the term because everybody, I mean, in this political scenario, everybody is saying, oh, he's a liberal and he's a right winger. So I've heard the term, But what does it mean technically? What does it mean academically? Some of us might not be familiar with it, right? But otherwise, the sentence was easy to read. Destroyed, now it is disintegrating. What is disintegrating? Liberalism is disintegrating, destroyed by a mix of hubris and internal contradictions, according to Patrick Deneen. Now, this Patrick Deneen person is saying that liberalism is destroyed. Maybe the author agrees, maybe the author will disagree. As of now, I do not know. I read a little more. Equality of opportunity has produced a new meritocratic aristocracy that has all the aloofness of the old aristocracy with none of its sense of noblesse oblige, right? Becomes slightly complicated. And again, remember this complication idea is just relative, right? Relative to the first passage, relative to the first paragraph that I read earlier, this seems slightly tougher to me. So if I had only 2 minutes to try out one of these passages, which one would I try? I would try the first passage, right? Let's try out passage 3, first paragraph. The positivist, I don't know, I've never heard of this term, right? Like, I know what positive means, but positivist is not a common term. Anxious to stake out their claim for history as a science. History as a science. I know history as history, science as science, history as a science, okay, contributed the weight of their influence to the cult of facts. First, ascertain the facts, said the positivist, then draw your conclusions from them. This is what may be called the common sense view of history. History consists of a corpus of ascertained facts. The facts are available to the historian. Not that it's very challenging, but I still haven't got what the idea is. It's about history, it's about historical facts, maybe, and whether facts are important or not. But once again, remember my comparison. Again, we will work this out. We will get 100% accuracy while if we decode the passage and give it some time. But again, what do I want to do first? I want to do the easy stuff first, right? So paragraph 1 still seems a better choice. Passage 4, paragraph number 1, or I think it's randomly paragraph 2 also, doesn't matter. You just want the taste of the language. Does it work for you or not? The economics of European productions are more appealing too, which will also tell you something about the previous paragraph, but ignore that for a second. American audiences are more willing than before to give dubbed or subtitled viewing a chance. This means shows such as Lupin, a French crime caper on Netflix, can become global hits. In 2015, about 75% of Netflix original content was American. Now the figure is half, according to Ampere, a middle media analysis company. Netflix has about 100 productions underway in Europe, which is more than the big public broadcasters in France or Germany. Easy to read, easy to comprehend. It's about Netflix. I use Netflix. Most of us, let's say, use Netflix or have heard of Netflix occasionally. And it's about Netflix producing shows in Europe. So, not a challenge at all. History as a science and the importance of facts and maybe a philosophical debate there compared to TV production happening or not happening in Europe. Obviously, I will go for the TV production, right? So now, what is the conclusion? Let's say you had only 10 minutes for the test. Which two passages would I do? I would do passage number 1 and I would do passage number 4, right? So that's what we mean by passage selection and using a preview, maybe 1.5, 2 minutes. That investment is worth it because it will save you time later and maximize your scoring opportunity because your scoring opportunity will be higher in an easy passage, right? And early confidence, when you're starting the test, you get that boost of confidence. Okay, this is done now, let me breathe again and approach the difficult stuff with extra focus, right? So because your brain will also get warmed up in the test as you move along. So that's it about passage selection. Now, in the following videos, we'll get into discussing each passage where the agenda is a mastery via repetition, right? A deep level of skill upgrade whenever I'm reading these kind of passages, asking questions, categorizing information, mapping, predicting, anticipating, inferring stuff, reading fast when possible, reading slow when required, etc., etc. So that is just practice, but agenda for now is, can I choose the right passage? So maybe what you should do is you should go back to earlier workshops, pick out 4 passages and do the comparison. Okay, which one does seem easy to me, right? Even if you have done it earlier, it's fine. I mean, you have solved the passage, even then it's fine. You can always do it in the next test that you're appearing for. That let me spend 2 minutes and choose the right thing to do. because that's what being a manager, being a CEO is all about, right? There are 10,000 things which require attention. You want to do things which you can do quickly so that then you can move to difficult things, right? So this is it for this session. I will see you really soon with the next workshop.